you should have your image opened up in Photoshop, and then we're going to open a new file. So in Photoshop, you'll go up to File, and you're going to select New, and we want to be able to print this letter size. So you can go over to Print. Mine was in the recent, but underneath Print, you'll see a letter. We need a letter-sized image, and then depending on what your photo is, make sure you change the orientation. So my photo is vertical, so I click this one, click horizontal if yours is horizontal. All of the rest of this can leave. You can change the color mode to CMYK, since this color will eventually be printed. Backgrounds can stay white, that's totally cool. Resolution should be 300 dots per inch. Okay, and then you can hit create. Okay, so in this new document, we need to add our image into it. So the easiest way to do this is go to your image and then click up here and drag and pull that down, maybe off to the side a little bit, so then we can see it. Okay, because then you can simply go over into the layers palette of that photo, and we're going to click on top of this. If you hold down Shift at the same time as you do this, when we drag it and drop it into this white space, then if you hold down Shift, it will automatically center. Okay, so I'm holding on Shift. Now I'm clicking on what says background right here, and I'm just going to drag and release, and voila. In my document, letter document, I now have my image. It came in on a new layer, and then I have my background image. Okay, so from here, we can do some resizing if you wish. So if you hit the Move tool, it's this one right up here, that will give you the bounding boxes. And let's see, let me fit this so you can see the whole thing. Fit on screen. Okay, because we can see the bounding box of how big the image was compared to how big our workspace is. So once again, if you hold down Shift and then you go up to one of those top corners, you should be able to change this, but it will change in proportion. Okay, I believe it's Shift, right? Option changes it in proportion. Okay, because you could choose to make this image larger than your actual letter size piece of paper if you have extra space that you maybe want to crop off, or you can make it fit the exact size. So you choose what do you think would be best in order to make this workable for you. Okay, then I'm just gonna, when I'm done resizing that, I'm just gonna hit return, and that will lock that. Okay, next thing we need to do is make a new layer. So in Photoshop, in your layers palette, there's a little plus. You hit the plus button, and we are going to call this, or you can rename your layers. So I'm going to just double click where it says layer 2. It should all highlight. This is going to become our fill layer, is what we're going to call it. And right now, while I'm changing layers, I'm going to call this original. Or you could call it the name of the, did I spell original right? Or you could call it the name of the person, whatever you got. Okay, back to our fill layer. We are going to fill this with black. So over here, I bet yours looks like this, where you have black and white. We need to fill this with black. So I clicked on this thumbnail. Black is going to be the one that's way down in the bottom if you need to select that. And then we can fill this easily with the paint bucket. So paint bucket tool, you may see the gradient tool. Paint bucket is listed underneath it. So click on that paint bucket tool. Just click any place in that space. Ah, it went black. That's what's supposed to happen. And then we're going to set the opacity of this down to about like 30–40%. So we can see some of our image show through. Okay, from here, it's a matter of making a text box and filling text into the shapes that we see. So keep in mind, anything that's in your background, you don't have to put a text box there. You really only have to fill the image itself with text, okay? So I'm going to flip to, oh, actually, I'll do one of them first. Okay, so you should have already found fonts and downloaded them that you want to use, something big and bold. Font tool is right over here. The horizontal type is probably going to work the best for you. Vertical type, it's easier to rotate horizontal type for this project. So there's simply the text. Your information, font information is up here at the top. So Bungie and Game Robot are two that I downloaded that I'll be using. Once you select them from this list, the ones that you've selected, you'll see this show up here at the top. Okay, so with the text box, you can either take and drag an entire area to make it a certain size, and it will automatically fill it with filler text. But I can change this to gamer. You can also go to your doc where maybe you have a whole bunch of words or lyrics or something like that. You can pull words from that document as well, or you can just type them in. Okay, so notice when I made that text box, it automatically put whatever I typed in as the layer, and it created a new text layer on the top, right? Okay, so you make the box. I need to change this though. I'm gonna go back to my text tool and I'm gonna select that type. Because, oops, it just made a new text box, didn't it? Hold on, I need to go back into this one. I'm gonna delete that one, clean this up. Whoops, maybe I'll delete it. There we go. Okay, so back in this text box, I need my text tool because I want to change this to the color. I forgot to do that before. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to highlight all of this text. Right now it's black. I'm going to switch that to white. I could also do this down here. But white is going to be in the very, very top left-hand side. It should be pure white. Whoops, I got a little bit of cyan in there. Let me change that. Okay, so my text is now white. I can also change the font size of this to make it nice and large. Another quick way to change size is to simply, whoops, use your move tool. Let me make this the same size as the text. Use my move tool and I can move it around. I can also resize the text right like that. Ha ha. So the move tool is key. Okay, so the goal is we need to take this text and make it bigger, slightly bigger than the space that we want it to fill into. Okay, so if I want this to fill into the forehead, meaning I need it to go up here and also up here, but also maybe down along his glasses, I'm gonna have to adjust some typography types of things as I proceed. So if I select all of this space in my character palette, and my character palette is not open, but I can find that underneath the window menu. So here's character. Underneath the character palette, you will find the tracking, which right now is set to -75. This is what normal tracking would look like. Oops, my text box got too small. So you can change the tracking if you need to bring your letters closer together. You don't want them like right on top of each other though. We want space in between them. You can also change the vertical height. This may be really necessary to do in some places in order to like stretch it as tall. You can make it go wider. So those three, the tracking, the vertical scale, and the horizontal scale are probably the ones that you will use the most. You can use kerning if you need to fix the space just between two letters, but I'll show you in a moment how you can also just push that from one space to another. Okay, so if I go with maybe that kind of size, but I'm gonna go back to my move tool because I want to center that. And then the rest of this, I think I can scrunch into space. Okay, next step is we need to apply a filter to this. So underneath, oops. Let me go back to the move tool, there we go. Okay, now can I select filter? No, I can select filter. We're going to liquefy. So make sure that this text is placed where you want it to go. Hit liquefy. You're going to get a message that says, hey, we need to rasterize this. You want to do this. So convert to a smart object. What this means is that it's no longer going to read it as text. It is going to read it as a shape instead. Okay, so over here, oops. Let me move this over so you can see it. Over here in the liquefy, you need to change a couple of things. So we want to show the background. We want to use only the original layer. That means the picture layer. That's the one that we renamed. And we want the mode to be behind. And we want the opacity. The opacity can stay at 100%. Yeah, you can keep the opacity at 100%. I'll just change the opacity of the words. Okay, so with this liquefy tool, whoops, I have to move this back over this way so you can see this side. With the liquefy tool, it's the first one. It's right up here. It's called the forward warp tool. And essentially this is nudging. So if you see the P on your keyboard, to the right of the P, the letter P, you'll see bracket keys. And if you hit those bracket keys, that should change the size of the brush. Okay, so you want something that's not like super large, but something that's not really small. It's kind of like that's the size of your fingertip that's going to be pushing this text. Think of it that way. Okay, because then with this selected, I can just nudge this letter into the space that I want it to go. So like I need to be able to go with the edge of his glasses, and this is where it takes like a little bit of time and effort, and you definitely need to be able to see your layer underneath, and it still needs to be legible. We still need to be able to read this word, but it will kind of give the effect of curvature, of something that's going around your actual person. So it will give, like when we're done with this, if you've done it correctly, it will give the illusion of 3D space. So just gentle little nudges. I can also stretch things out. So like this A, I could stretch this up here to fill in some of that skin space. I can bring this down to fit around his hair. This E needs to go up quite a bit to fill this space. And so this is really pretty. You can Control Z if you need to go back as you do this. Okay, so this needs to be nudged all the way around. This word was a little too wide. I probably should have scrunched that before I started. That needs to go down this way. Because whatever white space of your text you have is essentially going to be the shape that we read. So changing small little things to fit the curves, super essential. I want this to go right down to his glasses. Okay, and you can change the size of the brush strokes as you go. Okay, then when you are done with that, whoops, let me move this back over here so you can see it. You simply hit OK down on the bottom right-hand side. Okay, and then you will have your words right on top of your image. Okay, as you go, you essentially just repeat the same thing over and over again. So okay, so on this document, I have quite a few words put on his face and some words put into his teeth. One thing that's going to be important as you continue is that you name your layers. So all of your text will come in with the text that you actually put into it. You're going to want to take and group those together though and put them into folders. So like when I got done with parts of his face, I took and I hit Shift and I selected all of these layers, and then there's a folder right down here. You can create new folder or create a new group, and then you simply title it. So like everything that's going to be on his face will be in this folder. I made a subfolder called the left eye, and that's where I have these layers of text. So we're going to have lots and lots and lots of layers. Super important that you take time to actually organize them and name them, because then we can also easily, if I want to turn something off or back on, I can easily see how two things interact with each other, especially when you get overwhelmed. Okay, so you'll continue doing this, push the shape, move the shape, liquefy the shape, and then move on to the next one until you have filled all of your space. Keep in mind that you want to have some space in between each of your spaces so that we can read the edge, so that things don't get muddled and then they merge all together.